Hey, how's it going? Today is day 26 of my 100-day challenge of inspiration. And today I want to talk about something that I have struggled with, and that is perfectionism, or the idea of being perfect or being a perfectionist. So I found this little image that talks about being a perfectionist, and I just want to read some of the things to you, and I want you to think about or ask yourself, am I a perfectionist, or can you relate to any of these statements? So 1, you're either an amazing success or a total failure, nothing in between. 2, you avoid activities or tasks where you know you won't be the best or perfect on your first attempt. 3, you are more likely to quit than do something imperfectly. 4, you get defensive if someone points out your errors. 5, you already know you're a perfectionist and that it is holding you back, but you don't know how to stop. So, can you relate to any of those things? I have struggled with perfectionism so much in my past. And what I realized was it was a reason for me to hold back. It was a reason for me to not take risks. And it really came down to having a fear of failure. It came down to having a fear of looking bad. And so if I couldn't do something perfect, or if I wasn't the absolute best, then it wasn't so much that I was like, what's the point? But I just so badly did not want to look bad. And that is like a deep ingrained fear of mine that I had from when I was growing up. So it prevented me from taking risks, and it prevented me from doing a lot of the things that I knew in my heart I wanted to do. But with anything, you have to start somewhere, right? Like, think about how long it took you to learn how to walk. You didn't just stand up and walk and that was it. No, you stood up, you fell down, you stood up, you maybe like held on for a little bit, then you stood up, then you probably fell down again. It isn't even just like an upward path. Then finally, maybe you take one step while you're holding on to something, and then you let go of that thing. You take 1 or 2 steps, you fall down. And then the next day, maybe you just fall right down. And then finally, you take like 5 or 10 steps forward and you have walked, but that doesn't mean that every single time it's going to be the way it's going to be. And so anything new is like that. And when you're a baby, you don't get down on yourself. You don't say, man, I suck at this. I'm just going to stop. I'm just not going to walk for the rest of my life. No, you just show up for the challenge and you just keep going and you keep trying. Right? So why is it that as we get older, we're so afraid to look bad or to fail or to not get it perfect? So I have a couple different tips that I would suggest for if you're struggling with perfectionism. So first things first, I think that self-love is just the most important thing. I think that you really can't find success, fulfillment, and happiness in life if you don't love yourself. I think that is just the most important thing. So taking time to check in with yourself. Are you happy in this moment? And if not, why? Doing some reflection and paying attention to when you're not happy and maybe avoiding those things or changing things that you need to change. Also complimenting yourself on the things that you love about yourself. And just really taking time to get to know and to love yourself, because we all have special things about ourselves. We all have unique perspectives and we are all gifts on this earth. So love yourself, man. That is the most important thing in anything else that you can do. And also, with that being said, celebrate the small wins. I know in the past, like, I always have big visions. And so in the past, I would just focus on how much further I had to go to get to the thing that I wanted. And I would only focus on that. And then I would feel bad about myself because I was never at the thing I wanted. Well, that is just never going to be of service to you. You have to look back and look at all of the wins that you have accomplished and feel good about those things, because at one point you didn't know how to do those things. And then you learned how and you grew and you got better. So slow down and celebrate those small wins. Every single day is full of different risks that you take and different opportunities to celebrate a different win. So I think it's really awesome if you can just sit down with a pen and paper and think of all the times that you maybe wanted to give up or things were hard, but you overcame. Think of all the times that you had perseverance and you kept going, and just write anything. Like, even you were afraid to move to a different state, but you did it. Like, that is huge. And just make a list of all of those things and you will realize all of the amazing things that you have overcome, and just focusing on the wins. Focus on those wins. It's so important. The next thing is read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. It is so good. It talks about having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And so a fixed mindset just means that you think that you only have a certain amount of talent or skill. And once you hit that certain level, you can't get better. And so why even try? And that goes hand in hand with perfectionism. But alternatively, there is a thing called growth mindset. And that is the belief that you can get better in anything that you do through hard work, through effort, and through consistency. And this book is really amazing. It's full of research, and also it hits all different points of life. It hits business, it hits parenting, it hits growing up. Every single aspect in life, it has different examples to look at. So it is really powerful, and it'll change the way that you think about things, and it'll change your belief in yourself, honestly. So definitely read that book. The next thing is to focus on the next step. Start small. Don't get overwhelmed by the whole big picture. I know it's easy when you have these big goals to get overwhelmed by that. And then you think, well, I can't do that perfectly. I can't create a perfect podcast. So like, why even start? What's the point? But it's so much more about the journey, the person you become, the things that you learn along the way. You learn so much just by taking that first step. So if you don't know what that first step is, again, get that pen to paper, write down some different things that you could do. Just focus one step at a time and keep moving forward. And through action, you will gain confidence that will help diminish that perfectionism. The next thing is to have fun. Oh my gosh. Having fun is like the antidote for perfectionism. And it's so important. I know we just want to be the best at every single thing. And sometimes that just makes us really rigid. And it is so important to just breathe, chill out, let go, and have fun. Remember what it was like to just explore and to just play. I'm doing the artist way, like I talked about, and every single day I'm supposed to take myself on an artist date. And that is an opportunity for me to just play. And through that, I get to experience new things, and that helps to stem my creativity. So whether it is taking a pottery class or even just getting outside on my bike and exploring, like, it feels good to let go and just to play and to have fun. The next thing is to embrace failure. Failure is a part of success, and you have to get through it. You cannot be successful without failure, and you cannot be a perfectionist without failure. So you have to decide what's important. Do you want to grow, or do you want to be perfect? Because you can't do both. And failure, it's really not so scary when you focus on the idea of learning and growing and the opportunity that comes with each fail. So embrace the failures, because that means that you are taking action, that you are taking steps towards something, and that you are learning and growing and becoming a better version of yourself. I talked about celebrating failures the other day, and I think that that is so important, to try and have fun with your failures rather than looking at failures as a bad thing, celebrating those things. And then the last thing is to let go. And it kind of goes with just playing and exploring. And if you try to control things too much, then first off, you will just be miserable. And you're just in a state of tension, and you can't create anything when you're in a state of tension. You have to just let go and let God. You have to trust that God has a plan for you, and you need to take the steps to figure out that plan one step at a time, but just let go of the control, because you're not in control after all. And thinking that you are and trying to be perfect is just never going to get you where you want to go. So you just got to take a deep breath. You got to do it one step at a time and just embrace the uncertainty, embrace the scary, because perfectionism is being stuck, and it is being rigid and tense, and it doesn't lead toward pursuing greater things. It just holds you back. It makes you defensive. It makes you afraid to take risks. So you have to have fun. You have to let go. You have to embrace the challenge to achieve the things that you want to. You have to be okay not being perfect, because I promise you, you are so much more interesting when you're not perfect. People are more interested in you and what you're doing, even if you fail. People are paying attention and people are watching you, and they're like, man, she tried that. And maybe it wasn't perfect, but I think that's really awesome that she tried that. I'm too afraid to even try that. So the fact that you're even doing it, the fact that you are even failing is a good thing. People are watching, and it is amazing. So let go of your perfectionism. It will not get you anywhere other than feeling stuck. And if you don't want to feel stuck, then you gotta let it go. So remember to show up for yourself every single day, regardless of where you are, if you're in a good place or bad. If you show up for yourself every single day, there's nowhere that you can go but up. And if you want to dive deeper with me, you can head over to my website, showuptogoup.com. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.